Hello. Hello and welcome. I think we're live. Oh, we may be right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. And in this video, or this live stream, I should say, we're going to talk a lot about, DC stuff, right? Gotham Knights, the Batman, anything else. Obviously, you guys want to talk about any news or anything that happened over the past week. But I kind of want to center it on Gotham Knights because of the stuff that's happened today, really. It kind of came out of left field, and I would say three different stories about Gotham Knights. One being what I talked about earlier today about the placeholder date. Two being the playtest, which I can show you, and maybe we will as the live stream goes on. Number three, our good old friend Roberto Serrano saying that he believes that the game is still gonna release before the end of June. Now I don't really take, I don't really think that means anything, considering we knew from the lead artist that it was supposed to come out by the end of during the springtime. Spring would technically end June 22nd, so it would make sense. As long as it doesn't come out, for the love of God, in July, in the first week and a half, because I won't be by a PlayStation. Hello everybody. Hello Roman. Hello Luna Comics. How's everybody doing? I'm what's exciting and actually quite scary about Gotham Knights, right, is that I don't know how much belief we have in this game. I think a lot of people's belief is very, very low, and I have a feeling, and I think I've said this before, when we see this game again, okay, when they show it off, I have a really big feeling they're going to show it off, and then they're going to give the release date and say, hey, it releases in 2 months from now. In fact, I think that's actually what I said earlier today. Give them 2 months from when they show it. So if they show it in March, I think May or June makes sense if they say, hey, here's when the game releases. And that is a very quick turnaround. I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think the DC gaming community is ready for that. I don't think the players, which I guess I would also include myself in, I don't think they're ready for it. And but it's good. I think it's honestly going to happen. And then we get to have the discussion of, is the game actually good? So I'm very... I didn't have Gotham Knights releasing in June on my bingo board. It's always been in the back of my mind, but it's kind of just been kicked out and not allowed back in. So yeah. How's everybody doing? What is the placeholder date? April 24th, which is a Sunday. So that's not happening. Love your vids. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Hey, Alex, are we able to play test Gotham Knights? No. So the play testing thing is basically SteamDB. That's what it's called, SteamDB. It's basically a database. Actually, that's what DB stands for. It's literally a database where anything that happens in the back end of Steam eventually will work their way through this database. And Gotham Knights, literally called Gotham Knights Playtest, I think that's the official phrase for it. It was added. I think it's been edited over the last couple months. But it was, there's other. Here, I'll show you. I will show you. Let's do that. Let's get into it. So let me minimize myself here. Okay, so I will go down here. And, all right, so what you're seeing now, Gotham Knights Playtest. So that's the official name. Honestly, I'm not too into it either. I don't really know too much about it, but release date, March 4th, 5 hours ago. And it was also terminated. I'll show you that in a second. But release date today. Last record update also today, and you'll see why. So here's what I mean. If you scroll down, here's January 14th. This was 2 months ago. This is when it first, I think, popped up. There were a couple updates done. Another one done January 14th, January 20th, February 23rd, March 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Okay, and these are for any, changed number. These are for when anything, as you can see here, when anything is added. And actually, if you hover over some of these, do they show? Some of these will show what they're actually adding, and they're pictures of Gotham. Yeah, right there. So this is the logo, added logo. So the logo was added right there, and this was all done March 4th today. So March 4th, all of this stuff was added. All of this stuff was also subtracted. You'll see that in a second. Test build right there, right? So you have that. Another change. It's just a different set of files. Another one, added web assets, and yeah, here we go. There's all the pictures. There's all 4 of them. A little bit header, I guess, right? Pulled back a little bit. Top down, kind of. Left, right, Gotham Knights. Now, we also have app was deleted. The previous name was Gotham Knights Playtest. And this happened right after 18/16, 18/26, so 10 minutes later. App was deleted. Previous name Gotham Knights Playtest. Steam database requires a token for this app. Change number, and then the number changed all of these numbers have changed. And so that's it. So what this pretty much means is behind the scenes. Let me get myself back up here. Looks good. So what that pretty much means behind the scenes is that there was a playtest and things were happening, and and then it was deleted. So something is going on behind the scenes, and I would imagine something would have to be going on. Now, playtests are very common, obviously, right? This game obviously has co-op, so I don't know if they were practicing maybe some sort of internal stress test-like thing where they were playing it with each other, where you could have two people playing it together. I assume that's probably it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the game is coming out soon, but I think, again, just because of everything, like, you know what I mean? The Batman is out. The game, people keep saying, by the end of spring or like early summer. So like we imagine in the next 3 or so months, these placeholder dates that keep saying now, the lead artist on his website saying spring 2022, right? That's the release date for it that he had on his official website. And he's the lead art designer, I think was his position, right? So, all of that stuff combined with now that there was a behind the scenes like playtest thing, I feel like that's a pretty good sign. So, yeah, it was going to be live services. They stated that all their games will be live service at one point, but after Avengers' failure, they decided to delay the game. No, that's not them. That was Square Enix. I don't know. Well, Warner Bros., I think, will have elements of probably transactions and everything, but Avengers has nothing to do with it because that's not the same publisher. I'm doing good, Shad the God. How about you, buddy? Wowie, I'm the Penguin. Penguin was so good in the Batman. I doubt Gotham Knights is releasing in April. Agreed. Do you think they'll offer it? I think there'll be probably like 3 additions to Gotham Knights, same as Hogwarts Legacy, same as a lot of different games. Some games only have 2, some have 3. Yeah, it was added a couple. I think March 2nd, right? That seems to be. There was a lot of things added March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 3rd, and then today is when it was taken down. So yeah. I'm doing good, Epic. How about you? I hope the Riddler shows up in a central role in Gotham Knights. Oh, God. I don't know. Hype. Thanks for the explanation. You're welcome. I love the Riddler and the Batman. Yeah, it's a good time, potentially. I hope Gotham Knights comes out, and I hope it's really good. Because as of right now, you have Suicide Squad, and I've never been massively, massively high on Suicide Squad, although I'm really excited for it. But you look at that game, and I predicted, remember, I said it out loud. It was my prediction that the game would be delayed out of this year, and that's exactly what's happened. And that's okay. That's fine, and I think it's probably for the best. But like I said, I think Gotham Knights is in a cool spot because I just don't think, and rightly so, like I don't think they've given anybody any kind of confidence or like, oh, we trust you kind of thing. So like when the game is shown, I don't know how many people are going to expect it to like a really fast turnaround, just release like immediately after. And honestly, I think that's going to happen. I can see them doing it where maybe it's not like May or June, right? So they show it, and then instead of May or June, maybe they do like August or September. So it's like a little bit bigger of a gap. Maybe that's what more people would be expecting, and maybe that's what they do. But, I think a lot of people just expect that this game is, I don't know about a lot, but, I see people that say, the game's probably canceled and all this stuff. And it's like, that's not how it works. But, it's, I don't really blame the people. I think, WB Montreal has done horrible at promoting this on purpose, probably, right? WB Games in general has done horrible. So it's rough. I'm doing good. It'd be awesome if Gotham Knights and Hogwarts was a bundle buy. Yeah. Absolutely one of my favorite YouTubers. Well, I'm honored. It's an honor. By the way, I enjoyed the movie. It had some problems towards the end. 8 out of 10. Yeah, the ending was a little disjointed. Well, thank you, Epic. I know we're actually. I don't know the exact date, but like within the next week and a half, it's our 7-year birthday. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do for our 7-year birthday, but I hope to do something. I don't know. I'd like to celebrate the day that the first video went up, not the day that the channel was started, because that's, but yeah, that'll be fun. So it'll be 7 years in another week and a half. I don't remember the date. I think it's the 13th or 14th. I'll have to look, and maybe we'll do something fun for that. What week do you think we will get more news? Yeah, that's another question, right? So I said this before Hogwarts Legacy news started to get people, into the hype for this game. I said, this is last week, this week, and next week were like the main three that I think you're not going to get a better chance to coincide with anything than like right now. You know what I mean? I know Batman's deader than dead, actually, right? He's gone and buried in Gotham Knights. I don't believe it. But, we hear it so often. But guess what? The Batman is coming out, or it is out. And I just don't know how you're going to get a better time to say, hey, look, we also have a video game coming out that's Gotham Knights. Because actually, when that CW show starts to get going, it's only going to hurt you more, because that show's going to be nothing but garbage. And so I don't know if that's what you want to kind of piggyback off of. I think you'd want something like the Batman that's kind of like mainly universally loved. So hopefully, and the Hogwarts Legacy news, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. His source that was originally supposed to be last week, then it was this week or next week, and this week is gone. So now there's only next week. So hopefully it's not. Honestly, I hope it's next week. I really, really do. I hope it's not the week after, towards the end of that week. And also, like, it's kind of dead. Like, there are games coming out, but in terms of gaming, like, we've entered now a little bit more of a stale period the next, 2 weeks. Then we get, Stranger in Paradise, the Final Fantasy game. We get at the end of the month is Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby, and there's one more, Tiny Tina's Wonderland. So, right now would be a really good time, like next week. Next week is probably the best you're going to get. Hope Gotham Knights and AEW's console games come out. It's bad enough the Suicide Squad Killer Justice League is getting a delay. Yeah. I want to see more of the Wonder Woman game, to be honest with you. I think it's with Gotham Knights or to take down the Court of Owls for killing Batman. Yeah, that's why I want to see Joker in Gotham Knights, because I've said this, I think since honestly day one or earlier than day one, I want to see a Joker dynamic in a game where Batman's dead, and not that he's necessarily dead, but he believes he's dead. I want to see that, and I want to see how Joker acts in that world. I think that'd be really cool. Trying hard to get your driver's license. Oh man, driving's fun. I'm hoping for a Superman game or something like a Justice League game. I think WB Montreal could do a Justice League game, honestly, eventually. Yeah, I don't. There's still not like the killer reason to get a PS5 right now. There's pretty good reasons, but there's not like if you miss this, like you're nuts. You have no taste. There's nothing really like that for either of the two consoles, to be honest. I don't believe Batman's dead either. I don't know about GTA. I may get it, but I also may not. There is no. Suicide Squad Killer Justice League is only next gen. So that is one that you can't get if you don't have a PS5 or Series X. That'll be interesting to see how it does. We are hungry for information. Release date predictions for Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman is closer than... I said this in the video when it was shown at the Game Awards. I think Wonder Woman is so much closer than a lot of people think. I think it'll be like this time next year. It'll come out. I believe that. I thought maybe the end of this year. And maybe it still could, because now next year you'd have Wonder Woman. I believe next year at some point you'd have Wonder Woman and Suicide Squad. So I think no matter what, that'll happen, which is cool. And then hopefully the second team, good old WB Montreal, hopefully they can get their second game out within 2 years after, so maybe 2024 they can have their second game out. And Wolverine probably late 2024, holiday. So October, November, December. Spider-Man first. Obviously, I know there's different teams, but I just think that's a while out. The sound of Infamous and Sly Cooper returning is exciting. You have no idea. You have no idea. If we got a new game, if those rumors are truly true, and we get Infamous, a franchise I've loved for so long, but have had criticisms of, and Sly Cooper, one of my main men. One of the best, honestly, game franchises of all time. If we got those two games, Jesus, it'd be a good time to be alive. It's crazy they've had a PS5 for over a year now. Yeah, I can't believe it's actually been we're approaching a year and a half of PS5. I was writing my return video script, but I needed a break, inspiration, and hopefully you will inspire me. Oh, man, that's a lot of pressure. I don't inspire myself much. Oh, Sly Cooper's so good. Sly Cooper is so good. We're in for, we're in for a good, I think, rest of this first half of the year. I think we need, to be honest, like Gotham Knights, we need something like Gotham Knights, I think, to kind of fill in this little area, because March is a little back and forth, and it's very much games for a specific kind of person. And then April, really, there's just Lego. To me, like in my opinion, there's Lego Star Wars and there's like MLB The Show. That's it in April. And then May, you have a couple more things. Evil Dead, the game, Forspoken. But remember, the rumor from account NGT is that Forspoken is delayed, so we'll have to see. So there could really be no big, huge thing after April, after Lego Star. I would imagine Lego Star Wars is going to do quite good, and then there could be nothing after that. So we need, I think, I don't know if we need it. If we had Evil Dead, there's that 2 Point Campus game in May. There could be Forspoken, and then June there's like nothing. So if we could have like Gotham Knights come out early June, I know it's a late June, but if we could have it come out like early June, that'd be sweet, and that'd be a really good finish to those 6 months. I think a really good first half of this year already, and then it will just continue. And then you go July, probably pretty dead. August, a little bit more alive, and then September, October, November, get a boatload of games and call it a year. Retire until next year. Cute dog, thank you. She is cute, and she's full of energy. Gonna try and get a PS5 this summer. Very good. Next state of play. Yeah, that's another one. Please, PlayStation. I imagine, I don't know. I think PlayStation is going to do the state of play the week of the 21st to the 25th. So like 2 full weeks away or 3 weeks away. They'll probably do it the Tuesday or Thursday. So the 22nd or the 24th. That's what I think. They will do a state of play. So, or like a PlayStation, not a state of play. I actually don't think it'll be called that. It'll be a PlayStation showcase. So I'd like them to announce it this upcoming week, but I think they'll only give like 1 week notice. So probably the 14th through the 18th week, they'll announce it, and then it'll happen the week after. But I don't think Gotham Knights will honestly be there. I believe Hogwarts would be there. So we'll see. Yet again, if you believe Roberto Serrano, we're supposed to get Hogwarts literally next Thursday. We are like 6 days away from getting Hogwarts Legacy. So we'll see if he's right. Cute doggo in the back. Thank you. What do you think the relationships between Batman and each of the Knights is like when the game begins? It'll be cool. I honestly think they will do flashbacks to show how he treated each of them. That's what I personally think. Some sort of like they go through, because, and I do like this idea, like not just Joker, right? But what do the Gotham Knights themselves? What are the 4 of them? Like, how do they feel being like the only ones left because their mentor is gone? And like, what's that even like, being the ones that are like supposed to protect the city now with Batman gone? So they can go through that, I think, emotionally, mentally. But I think also it's like, well, they also did lose maybe a father figure to some, maybe just a mentor to other people, right? But it's like, what's that like? And I think you can show that pretty well with some sort of like, there's a flashback and you see them in the Batcave with Batman. He's training them and they're looking up to him or whatever. Somebody like Robin, I think, right? Because Robin is supposed to be, 16, 7? Like, he's a young kid. He's supposed to be in this game. So he's like super young, probably does look up to him like a father, and then he's dead. It's like, how do you go through that? Well, showing it. Honestly, like, show, don't tell, right? That's probably a good method. So that's what I would hope. Excited for Lego, and then seems empty. Yeah, until Star Wars. Or Hogwarts. Why did I say Star Wars? I can't wait for Lego Star Wars, though. I feel like if Warner Bros. Is not going to give us anything till April, unless the Star Wars delays things. That's true. And, yeah, I don't know how they operate, but I mean, like, but everybody seems very confident that we're going to get Hogwarts stuff this month. So why would you show Hogwarts when Lego comes out? So it'd be the same argument. I get it's a solid argument, but I actually don't think they're going to follow it right now. Because at this point, Lego is done. Lego is out 2 years late. And, you have to, like, Gotham Knights, it could be coming out soon. Hogwarts Legacy, we've gone since it was January of 2021 is when they announced the delay. So it's been a year and 2 months since we've seen anything regarding it. And the last time we saw it, it was delayed. And it was a picture. It was a statement. 25 years old. 3 months today I'll be, or not 3 months today. 3 months I'll be 26 years old. I saw the Batman movie earlier today. It was pretty good. I like it. Don't think it was a masterpiece overall. Well, that's okay. Bullet Train looks fun. I didn't watch that yet. I'm not holding my breath in that rumor. No, I'm not holding my breath, honestly, on any rumor. I report on them. They're fun. They're different. They get us talking. They get people to the channel. But after that, if Hogwarts doesn't come out next Thursday, well, I'll know how to think about Roberto for sure, like 100%. And, I'll just move on with my life and wait until Hogwarts is shown. That's what I'm going to do. When I first heard of Gotham Knights, I didn't like it. Now I'm getting more used to it. Well, we've had plenty of time to adjust, haven't we? Like, it's been so long. Red Hood and Joker would be cool. I think there's a thing that says Robin's 16. I'm pretty sure that's the age. When is the state of play? Like I just said, hopefully I predict either the 22nd or 24th. It won't be next week. Could be the week after. So I'll just take the week after that. Do you think the Gotham Knights TV show would exist in the Arrowverse? Probably, right? But I'm telling you, I just feel like that show's going to be real bad. Real bad. Yeah, I think Batman's held hostage. That's what I think. Yeah, thoughts on how Gordon died? That kind of sucks. Not having Batman, and I think they'll bring Batman in at the end. But then also not having a Gordon, that's rough. I don't know. What do you think? How do you guys think Gordon died? That's another thing you have to work out with the characters too. What's it like without having, the commissioner, somebody who's like, a big theme with Gotham and with Batman in general, right? Is corruption and like you can't really trust people, but Gordon is one of those trustworthy people. So it's like not having him, what's that like? So that'll be I kind of routinely forget about him, but that should be pretty fun to see how they handle it, honestly. My guess is the court took him out to take control of the GCPD. Yeah, I think so. I think he should be connected to the court. His death should be connected to the Court of Owls. It makes sense. Saw the Batman on March 2nd. Nice. Yeah, I loved it too. I saw it on March 2nd as well. Hope we'll get some Kingdom Hearts this month too. I think April is the Kingdom Hearts anniversary thing. So maybe next month we'd get a new Kingdom Hearts game announcement. I kind of debate Dark Knight versus the Batman. Do you think the Batman movies will come to Arkham Knight or no? I think what? I don't know what you just said. Like if they'll do the Arkham Knight thing, I still want an Arkham Asylum movie, and that's what the Ben Affleck Batman movie, remember, was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an Arkham Asylum kind of takeover, and he would go and stuff like that. So I'd like to see that. An Arkham Knight thing, like bringing in the Arkham Knight, could be cool. But I really want them to do a Court of Owls thing for the Batman movies, to be completely honest. Let's see. Yeah. I don't think Assassin's Creed DLC would stop a state of play, to be honest with you. I don't think anything would stop us. I think if you announce a state of play, that's the big news story of that week. Because also we keep using the wrong words. It's not going to be a state of play. It's going to be a experience or showcase. And it'll be big. It'll be big. Oh, skin. I hope so. But it's hard to know for sure, right? If they because I want to say it's hard to know for sure if they still care about the game Arkham Knight. But like they have done skins and like suit stuff over time, and they have surprised people that they've done it. So to say no, like definitively no, is probably wrong. You know what I mean? Because they could, I think, easily. But that's another thing. Like how easy is it to do it? But then you have to think, well, do they have anybody still working on Arkham Knight? the resources it would take. I'm not saying like it takes like a 30-person team, right? But it's like, I wonder if they have anybody on that. I'd say no. My gut reaction would be to say no, but I think it would make sense and it would be cool and be a nice little thing to give to fans. So also, why not? You know what I mean? It would look good. And anytime you can make your teams look good, WB Montreal, I know it's Rocksteady, but, anytime you can make either of those two look good, I suggest you take it because neither of those two studios look all that good to people. Oh, I almost want to say I want a Kingdom Hearts. I do. I want a Kingdom Hearts TV show. I do. People complain and say it's just another thing. You have to watch the TV show to understand the games. Have you not played the games? You need to do everything in every game in order to understand the game. So what's the harm of adding a TV show to that? I don't think it's that bad. Since Lego and Netflix has collaborated to make Lego Stranger Things sets, it's a possibility they could team up again, make Lego Atlas sets because of Netflix's live action. Yeah. I love Avatar thing. Anything. Give me the game first. I'll take the game first. If Jason's already reconciled with the Bat fam, then presumably he's already confronted the Joker once. Barbara, though, is just returning to the cowl and so likely hasn't yet. Yeah, that would be... see, the thing, though, is... And we'll be able to really, like, dive deep into this once the game is out or even, like, once we see it again and can go in. I struggle to know how far they will go in the story with something like that. Because remember, like, when you're playing this game, it's like the same dialogue. And I've said this before, what scares me about Gotham Knights is them not realize, I don't want to say caring, them not caring, more like them not realizing that it could maybe be world breaking sometimes or immersion breaking depending on how we play it. So again, the example I've used, that Mr. Freeze thing, right? You can legitimately, this is a proven, they've said this is a fact, that the one gameplay deep dive we saw, both of those two characters could be it could be Barbara, all right? Both of them could be Batgirl. So when you go to Mr. Freeze and you're talking to him, you could both be literally the same character. And so what's the dialogue like? And people get mad at me sometimes because they'll say, well, Alex, that doesn't matter, is the first thing. Second thing they'll say is people won't do that. Well, that's true, maybe. I don't think that's fully true. But the thing that I think people fail to realize is it's not the fact that people won't do it. It's the fact that you can do it. So you have to think about how you write for that. It doesn't matter that like maybe only 5% of people do it. It matters that 5% does exist. And so the story and the dialogue with Mr. Freeze, this is just one example, right? Game's 20, 30, 40 hours long, let's say, right? It's just one example. But when you go to Mr. Freeze, like the dialogue needs to be safe enough where it doesn't go too deep, because if they're both the same character, it's just stupid. It doesn't even make sense to me, honestly, but it's the way that they're doing it. So like talking to the Joker, if it's like a quest line, how deep can you go? I don't think you can honestly go that deep. You can go maybe a little, but I don't think you can go super deep because I don't know how much they've written for each character to have a slice, or an entire path with it. The main story, I think, will be pretty detailed. I think the main story will be pretty emotional with the characters, and you'll get probably them more fleshed out. But the side stuff, I don't actually know. I don't. And I hope I'm wrong, and I hope it's easy. I hope I'm playing and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't even notice that, these things can happen and maybe they don't even happen at all. But I am curious because you can do that. You can literally play with the same character and you can go through the entire game. So the entire game, you and me can both be Red Hood, go through the whole game. Well, what's that going to feel like? What's that going to be like? And I don't know the answer. But I've always been cautious of it and a little worried. And people always get so mad at me, and it's like, well, I'm just kind of seeing the future. Maybe. We'll see how they handle it. So that's my tangent. They should have just made a game based off the Batman. Nothing WB Montreal can make even come close to the Batman. Yeah, but they don't know. WB Montreal has been in turmoil for 8 years. They didn't know, like, there's no crossover, you know what I mean? And Matt Reeves has been making the Batman for 5 years, even though they haven't been filming for 5 years. It's been in the works for 5 years, so they don't follow each other. Like I said, remember months, years ago, when people said, oh, are they going to line up this game with this movie? And I said, that's not how it works. It's just not. And people are like, well, maybe it is. Well, it's not. So I just like to throw that out there. I like to congratulate myself when I'm right, because I'm not right every time. And then people will say, well, what do you know? Well, I've gotten a couple things right here and there, so maybe you can trust me. Imagine Batman Beyond in Gotham Knights, LOL. Could be. What do you think of the I Am Legend sequel announcement? I mean, I don't know how you do a I Am Legend sequel, but with Will Smith, but they're doing it. So I will just assume nothing of it, honestly. What about you? I would love to see the Avatar game rumors be true. Me too. If we got a Zack Snyder Justice League 2, who would play Batman? I honestly think they would skip that. Like they would. I think if they did that, Batman would just not be there. Weirdly enough. Yeah, well, I'm not necessarily saying same dialogue. It's just I don't get how it. You know what I mean? Like you have two like just look at the dialogue between Batgirl and Mr. Freeze in that demo or in the walkthrough. And it's like, well, how does that change if they're both Batgirl? And what I'm saying by that, by the way, is I don't know how much that other person would even be included. Okay? And I also would like to know, and again, these are things we'd have to test when we get the game. When you're playing with one versus playing with another, how much do things change? Now, things don't necessarily have to change. I actually don't care too much if I'm playing that mission with Red Hood versus Batgirl, and I don't really care all that much if the dialogue shifts. But we'll see what they promise, because if they promise something and then it's not it, then obviously that's a problem. So it'll be interesting. But I guess also, while I don't necessarily have a problem with it, it also is like, well, why even bother? Like, what does it matter if I choose one character versus the other, because it doesn't actually matter who I pick. And that's something they have to work through, and I hope that they have worked through it. Yeah, Mr. Freeze will be like, Batgirl, wait a minute, there's another one. Yeah, like, how do you... I've said it since... I'm the only one, I think, that's said it since day one. I don't like that decision at all, to be the same character. You should lock the person out. And I don't know why that's so difficult, you know what I mean, to do that. And I don't even know what you can use to kind of back it. You could say, well, like Avengers. I mean, who's praised the Avengers quests that you play online with your friends? Like, they're not storytelling. They're not important storytelling things. Nobody's going to win an award for that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I don't know if you talked about this, but I asked the new brand manager, Devin Newberry, about when we were getting something, and he responded how he couldn't talk about it. Oh. Well, that's what all these people, that's what they all do, honestly. They all do it. They have a script. They're only allowed to say certain things. They're only, I get it. That's why I like to talk to people that have left projects, because they have a little bit more, freedom in what they're allowed to say. I want to talk to some of these people, but I also am not interested in, corporate, oh, you have to ask these questions, and they're going to answer this way, and, oh, there's these questions you can't ask them. It's like, if I can't ask a question, then they can tell me as I ask, okay? Not, this corporate stuff. What kind of music do you listen to? 90s rock. Smashing Pumpkins is my favorite band. Green Day, Blink-182, Weezer, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, stuff like that. But the main... Green Day, Smashing Pumpkins, and Blink-182 are my trio. What do we think of Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman? I liked her a lot. I didn't go in with low expectations for her, but I really liked how she did it. I thought she was really good. Well, with Forspoken being delayed, well, we don't know that. We don't know that for sure. Yeah, there is not. Yeah. Like I said that earlier, if there's nothing, if Forspoken isn't in May is pretty light, but it's not dead. But then June, July, August, they're all dead. So that's why Forspoken not moving would be nice. Or if it's delayed till like July, that's fine. And if Gotham Knights were to come out in June, well, now June and July I think are relatively okay. And I think you're going to get a lot of games for the fall, so that's nice. Can we get a Spyro? Can we get a Crash Bandicoot game? Please. Please. I'm begging. Obviously, Redfall. Remember, there's Redfall for Xbox. That's supposed to be a summer thing. Obviously, Starfield in November. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I did read in an interview that dialogue would vary between characters and villains. However, I share your fears. Not a fan of being allowed to co-op as the same character. Yeah, I'm not. That's a good point. And I want to make it known. Like I don't want to come across like very like cynical, like I know more than they know, or like I'm massively doubting them. But a couple things. One, I just can't see how it's gonna work perfectly. Like, I just have issues with it from the get-go. And two, it's not like they've instilled any optimism in them. Like it's not like they've been so great that it's like, oh, well, we should just trust them because they know what they're doing. I mean, is anybody saying that? And I don't want to, and I've said it before. I wish them all the best. I want to talk to them. I want the best for them. I want the best possible game. I've never once threatened or attacked them or had anybody or told anybody else to do that. Like, I'm playing it cool. But I'm not going to play it like, oh, I'm not going to say anything negative about you. No, I have legit fears of playing as the same character, and how in God's name is that not going to feel immersion breaking? And I'm not saying it necessarily will. I'm saying how won't it? That's it. I'm not, and I'm sure I'll get more backlash for that as we get closer, but I think it's a valid criticism, personally. Yeah, I hope the Batman 2 gets announced very soon. Also, he started the week that we were supposed to get something, so I think we're definitely supposed to get something. Oh, did he really? I feel like they've swapped community people like 3 times, though. If Gotham Knights comes out like the Avengers, I'll be massively disappointed. Yeah, I don't think it. I don't think it's necessarily going to be good. I think Gotham Knights honestly has the potential to disappoint people or be bad, but I don't think it'll be like Avengers. I think we'd have like our own issues with it. That's all. That's all. KO the Kangaroo. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 5-year birthday to Logan. Or anniversary. Man, I really like Robert Pattinson's Batman. Is she the best Catwoman? She's definitely better than... And I like Anne Hathaway's Catwoman, but I think she's better than that. Definitely. I want to watch it again. Actually, Christy really wants to watch it again, too, so we'll see. I said we're both interested in watching the Batman again. Podcast right fin now, y'all. Woo. Hello. I love how that young thug in the Batman now plays Tim Drake in Titans. Oh, really? My God. My favorite Batman in live action is still Ben Affleck. I respect Ben Affleck's Batman a lot. I really do. I agree 100%. Co-op as the same character destroys immersion. Well, thank you. We're on the same page. Yeah, we'll see how they do. I thought when it was announced that they weren't going to do that, and then when it was announced that you can, I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice. Because if you think about it, what's funny is not even Suicide Squad is doing that. Okay, so for Suicide Squad, if you guys are unaware, Suicide Squad is basically always online, but not really. So you play as you, whoever you choose of the 4 of them, and then AIs fill the other ones. There is no playing solo in Suicide. It's a 4-player game, but the AIs will take over them if you're not playing, if you're not going online. Or you can go online and they'll, other people will populate it for you. But you'll never have 2 people playing Harley in Suicide Squad. But you could have 2 people playing Red Hood. It's like, it's so weird. It's so weird, the choices. Not saying, again, it's going to be horrible. I'm just saying it's very interesting, the choices that they made. It would be cool. I think Matt Reeves, though, is pretty headstrong, and like he has his vision and he wants to make Batman movies, and he really doesn't have any interest in expanding it too much, and I respect that. I respect that a lot. I think the cutscene will just be the character you are playing as, and that's it. Is that true, though? Is Robin isn't he in the background of when she's talking to Mr. I think, cutscenes, normal cutscenes. It'll probably just be you. I agree with that. Or maybe not. Well, it has to be. You have to be included, right? I was thinking, like Elden Ring has cutscenes, and you're not in them for the most part, at least from what I remember. But I think like dialogue things, the other person would be, because I think that was shown. Batflick is my favorite Bats. Yeah, we got some Ben Affleck fans. Well, do I think there'll ever be another solo Batman game ever again? I think so. Just like you can never let go of Spider-Man as a person or as like a property or as a character in movies or games or shows or anything, right? I don't think Batman you'll ever fully. I get the want to move away from it. I do. But also you have to think like every 5 to 10 years is really a new generation, you know, let's say 10 years, because 10 years from now, so I have a daughter, right? 10 years from now, she'll be 18. I'll be 35. It's like, so that's a whole new era that maybe they don't care about Batman so much maybe now, but then they will in 10 years, or somebody's 5 and then in 10 years they're 15. Like, yes, I get in the grand scheme of things, that's not all that long. And so when you say, well, we want to do different things, we want to bring in this character, we want to do a Batwoman or Batgirl, we want to do this, right? We want to do these movies or shows. We're going to put 5,000 of them on HBO Max. But it's like every 10 or so years, you have literally a new era, like every time. And I get, you know, then maybe it's like, well, Batman's overused. Well, is he? Because people still go see him. He sells so many tickets in the box office, right? And everyone is different. And people that grew up with Nolan are not the same people that grew up with Snyder, are not the same people that grew up now. I mean, obviously, Affleck and Pattinson, you know, they're close because of proximity of when they came out. But it's an interesting. I don't see the harm. I think it's obviously where like the movie execs could come in and say, you know, stuff. But what unannounced villains would you like to see in the game as side villains, and how do you think the side missions should be? I want to see Killer Croc. He's one that I do want Joker. I want Joker, and the only reason I ever say Joker is because I want him as a side villain, not a main villain. So I want Joker, Killer Croc. I'd like to see Hush tried a different way. Firefly I like. So some of them I'd say. If I got Killer Croc, I'd be happy though. You know, I don't know. If you bring in Joker, should you bring in Harley? Maybe. But that's yeah. And I want to see some of these. I know a lot of them are repeats. You know what I mean? They're repeats of the past games. But you do, just like I said for the movies, you have an opportunity if you're WB Montreal and they even had a little bit of freedom with Origins, where they chose a lot of the villains that we already saw, some not though, and some we did, and you know, they were able to do a little, but they did have to play in the same playground that Asylum and City played in, right? Whereas now they can make the Joker however, you know what I mean? It could be however they want it to be. It's their iteration of him. So I go ahead, do some characters we've already seen before, because hopefully they feel like they're brand new. You know what I mean? Even like a Mr. Freeze, it's been a while. And then side missions, how long do you think? I've always like imagined like a quest line with each villain. That may not be how it goes though. But I've always like envisioned that, where it's like a Mr. Freeze mission arc is like an hour and a half or 2 hours. And you just do 2 or 3 missions or quests, right? And Mr. Freeze is like the big bad like over them, like he's like looking down at them. And maybe you talk to him, maybe you see him in some of them, and then obviously maybe the last mission at the end, you face them. Or maybe you don't. Like, can you really face Joker in a hand-to-hand? I'm sure you could, and they've done it before, but you don't have to. You could do something else. But the quest would have to end with them being caught or, you know, whatever. But that's how I would want it. That's not how it has to be, though. You know what I mean? It could definitely, they could just do something random. We get a new consoles are like every 6-7 years. That's because of technology, though. You can't have the PS5 for 10 years and not even be working on the next one, because technology moves so fast. You need to get the next one out. Used to play the iOS, Android, Batman Arkham Underground, where you were playing as the villains and building up your gang. It's a shame the game isn't playable anymore. Wow, I didn't even know about that game. I played a little Gotham City Imposters. That's kind of it. Well, Michael Keaton is still my favorite Batman. Hopefully they don't murder him. Not literally kill him. I just mean kill his character in the new stuff, which I have a feeling they may try. Do you think different villain factions will control different? Yeah, I do. I do. I think there'll be. Well, we kind of know a little, right? Like maybe watchtowers that maybe the Talons would see over. So I do think there'll be like Talons positioned around the city. And then I also could see them doing so they could do like, and really that's something that you've seen in other games too, right? So like a specific group that's like it duplicates or it's got more than one, right? They control different, one thing that you would do in the game. So like a watchtower, right? You would go, you'd battle a lot of Talons. There'd be like one main mini boss or boss for that area. You would take over almost like a Assassin's Creed like lookout thing, right? And you could see the area you're in. So you could do that. I think they should, and they would. And they've done it a little bit, right? In Arkham Knight, there was something similar. And then you could also do an Arkham City like thing where aesthetically, and also I guess the groups of enemies you'd find on the ground, right? They also are aligned. But also the way they may do it, and I don't know, this would be kind of hard, is when you're doing the quest line to populate. So like Mr. Freeze and his goons aren't around until you're doing his quest line, and then everybody is like Mr. Freeze like people, and it's like you could do that. I don't know if that would work. I don't know if that would also be too difficult from a design point of view, but you could. That'd be kind of interesting. Something like that. Batfleck reminds me of the Batman from the animated movie The Dark Knight Returns because both of them use a gun and they have similar build size. Yeah, I like his suit. I always like the suit. Adam West. Ah, yes. I would like to see Hush helping the Bat family. I like to see Hush in general. Hello, I can't say your name fast. Teledia plays. With Batman dead, if they keep him R.I.P., would you like Gotham Knights 2 to be a continuation that takes in the battle for the court storyline where you pick? I don't think the Court of Owls would make it past this game, so I would say that. I think the Court of Owls would be defeated at the end of this game. I also don't know, because of the merge with Discovery, uncertainty, I would imagine, with WB Montreal, maybe frustration, how the game sells and what their want for the game was. So if they wanted to sell 5 million and it sells 8 or it sells 3, right? So I think all those things would need to be taken into account. But we do know they are making their second game, which I don't think would be like Gotham Knights 2. It'd have to be something else. So I think you could easily. I think the hope would probably be to spin this game into a franchise or a trilogy. Ultimately, you don't really do 2 games, right? You do more than one, or you'd either do 1 or you do 3. You don't do 2. So I assume the hope is for that, but also I just think because of how long it's taken, because they've had 3 to 4 other canceled games. We don't know how much money they're bleeding out for WB games. They're merging with Discovery. Do they take a look at them and say, no, thank you? Or do they say, you're up for sale? So if Microsoft or Sony wants to take you. So those things I think are important. When do you think will be the month Gotham Knights gets release date? Like I said, I think June or August, I would say. It'd either kind of be like right away, and it's not happening in April. Could happen in May, but seems slim. So June seems the most likely. And if it's not June, I don't think it would be a July thing. It would probably be like an August thing. That's what I would imagine. I remember like, because in July, every July this will be 3 years, I think. I go to my parents where I used to live for my whole life, and we go there for like 10, 12 days. And we it's like a vacation, but we spend time with them. And I bring the laptop and I make videos. And I remember last year like praying that Gotham Knights wasn't going to release. There wasn't going to be news during the time I was gone. And I can't believe I'm saying it again now, because here we are saying it again now. I just hope the game doesn't release between July 2nd and what day do we cut? July 13th, 12th. So I hope that 10-day range. I know Thor comes out during that 10-day. I'll go see it with my sister. But in terms of movies, Thor comes out. In terms of games, nothing comes out. So I hope nothing comes out. I hope nothing comes out during that 10-day stretch. Or otherwise, I'm going to flip. Because while I bring my laptop, you know what I don't bring? My PlayStation. I think my sister has the PS4, but we're there for family. So if Gotham Knights were to come out, say, like July 6th, the Tuesday after the 4th of July, I'd probably cry because it'd be like, this is my moment. I want to play it. I'd want to make like 500 videos on it, and I can't play it. And it would be, oh my God. I don't even want to think about it. It would be so bad. From a business, because I have to, the channel makes money, and I live my half of our lives on it, and it's like, oh my God, it'd be so bad. So let's all, can we all collectively cross our fingers for me? Can we do one thing for me and say, please don't release the game during that time? I've heard that the Batman sets up the Court of Owls to make an appearance because in one of the trailers there's an owl on the postcard. Well, I won't spoil it, but I'm going to make a video that goes up tomorrow talking about the Court of Owls in a sequel. I think they left the door open for sure that the Court of Owls exist. I will say that. I don't want to spoil, and nobody should spoil the Batman because it just came out. My guess, the second game is big IP like Justice League or Superman. Yeah, I'd hope it's like a Superman thing. From what I've heard from it, could be more like arcs, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima story arcs that continue as you progress throughout the game. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, you could do it that way too. Yeah, see, I'm not saying my style was perfect. I'm saying that's just what I thought it could be. But yeah, that's a really good point. Yep, could be like that. Where, and for those, I guess, that don't know, right, Ghost of Tsushima was more like it kind of advances with you. Like there's levels. So there's like a quest line. It's like 7 missions, let's say, with the person. You go up to the person, you talk to them to get it started. But each one is in a different location, and sometimes it would be in a location that you can't actually get to yet because you have to do the main story to advance to get there. So you could do that for Gotham Knights. It depends on how fast, I would say, the open world for Gotham Knights opens, where you could do anything. I think that would depend. Is Joker still in the game? I think Joker would be in the game, to be honest with you. Man, I just got a notification for this live. I just remembered the time I used to watch your videos when you used to make videos for the next Batman game reveal. LOL, good times. I still do. I don't make them as much. I kind of ran out of things to talk about, if we're being honest. And, people always told me if I don't have things to talk about, don't make the video. So I did it. I didn't make the video. No, but I'm back. I mean, I've made Gotham Knights videos, made a couple in the last couple of weeks. And it's only because it's dead. I think people kind of forget that about me. I don't bandwagon, but when things happen, I'm there and I cover it a ton. And then when things dry up, I still try to cover it. I just don't do it as much. And then I'm right back when it comes back, So I am so excited. This isn't like a finishing statement, but this is something I'm so excited to like do this for Gotham Knights. Like I'm so pumped. Trust me. Do I like using these people? I don't think they were making fun of me, but because I agreed with them, where I did a Hogwarts Legacy video, and it's the same trailer. I mean, I just put the same trailer in every time. What else am I going to show? I try to do other clips besides it, a guy was like, I hate the fact that it's, I keep seeing the same trailer. And it's like, yeah, me too. I wish that next week we saw Gotham Knights and I could make 10 videos, but they weren't all, is the game releasing this day or placeholder date, or it's the same trailer. Like I want to do deep dives into the gameplay. I want to, what I talked about just now with the 2 characters, is that going to be immersion breaking with the dialogue? I want to do those videos, but things need to happen. They need to come out in order for me to talk about them. And I'm not saying you guys. This is just the thing with the gaming industry and movies. You just got to be patient. You got to wait. You got to come up with things in the meantime, which I think I've done really well over the last couple of years for many different properties. And I can't wait to make videos talking about specific aspects or when the game comes out, if that day ever exists, right? To talk about the ending, to talk about, okay, was this aspect of the game good? Was this aspect bad? I can't wait. Seriously. For so many games too, not just Gotham Knights, Hogwarts, God of War, BioShock. If WB is sold and had to go to one, who would you like to see by them, Microsoft or Sony? Oh man. You did a good. I like the way you worded it, because the trick question is I don't want them sold and I don't want Sony or Microsoft owning them. But if I had to choose, I think I'd say Sony, only because we haven't seen enough from how Microsoft treats people that they buy. fully. So I guess I'd say Sony. But that I don't want them sold. I don't want. Stay with WB Games. Stay with Discovery. Whatever. Which Marvel hero solo characters you want to be in? I've always said I want an Iron Man solo game. So that's what I would prefer. Hello, Alex Warren. Do you know it will come out for, when it'll come out for gameplay? I assume in the next week or two. Sorry, Mom, but I need to play my video. I know, it's like we're outside at the pool. I mean, they know. They know that I don't get paid. And, I guess technically the videos are always running, so people are always watching. But let's be real. You need to kind of stay up with it, right? So they know. And, I try to not do a lot of videos when I'm there. Very few, 2 a day max. I try to not do them on weekends. I'll do them whenever I can, whatever we're doing that day comes first. So, yeah, I really try to put them first and then do the channel after that. But I've never had to worry about it because there's nothing big that happens in July. Every year, the first time I went 3 years ago, or will be 3 years, Ghost of Tsushima came out 3 days after I got back home. I went to my parents, came back, and then 3 days later, Ghost of Tsushima came out. So that was the closest. And it was right after The Last was Part 2. But that was the closest I've ever gotten to something happening when I was gone. Last year, nothing happened. The year before, nothing happened. Ghost happened right after. And then this year, Thor comes out when I'm gone. But that's fun to watch. Maybe we'll all watch it together. Or Black Widow came out last year, but it's I don't cover I'm not going to cover Thor all that much on the channel. You'd be surprised, right? I say that because during the demo they said Mr. Freeze storyline. Oh, yeah. Could be. Or it could just be I think we're actually thinking the same thing because my idea would be a 3-quest line of Mr. Freeze. I'm not saying you have to do it all at once. So actually, I think we're actually saying kind of the same thing. I just didn't expand what I meant enough. But I think we're pretty close. I hope you can have bare hand combat. I think bare hands, without gloves or literally, or hand-to-hand combat, I think you will. What's the next Game Pass release you're waiting for? MLB The Show, actually. I played baseball for 8 years growing up. I don't really like baseball. I don't like watching it all that much, but the games are very good. And with Sony and Microsoft, obviously, doing the thing and doing Game Pass. Yeah. Show your face. I don't want to hear a voice. What? I'm showing my face right now. What does that even mean? Do you think NetherRealm is making MK12 or Injustice 3? MK12. I want them to make Injustice 3, but they're not. They're not. They're not. Oh, you know what another thing is Multiverses, that fighting game. That should come out this year. Maybe August, September. That'd be fun. I'll play it. And a lot of these games I want to play with you guys. Gotham Knights I think would be a little hard, but Suicide Squad I want to play with the community. Multiverses I want to do some tournaments. Let's do some stuff with that, right? I'd be pumped to do that. I miss your throwback Save Point podcast you had on Saturdays. I know. I wanted to bring it back. I'm thinking about it. I may do it on the second channel, honestly. So yeah. I like doing it, and I think you liked it a lot, and I appreciate it. And I know there was a group of people that played there that watched that podcast and really did like it. It just didn't get good numbers at all. But maybe it would work on the second channel. Smaller group. Anybody who cares watches it. Anybody who doesn't care. Maybe I could even do a second video on the second channel. Huh? I'm prototyping ideas. What studio do you all think Sony's going to buy next? Hopefully a small one, like a Slow Clap or Ember Lab is what I would prefer. Oh, Sifu is so good. I love Sifu. I got to get back into it. I haven't played in a few weeks. Too busy doing Elden Ring and Gotham Knights. Elden Ring and Horizon. Wouldn't it be funny if I was in the playtest for Gotham Knights and I couldn't say anything? I'm just kidding, because I'm not. If I was, I don't think I'd be able to stay quiet about it. I think I would reveal myself. Yeah, I think MK12 and then Injustice 3 as well. If Marvel let Xbox get one character for a game, what studio and what character? Oh my God. Well, Well, like I said, I want Iron Man. I don't know if Xbox, if it matters, and if Xbox had to, like, what studio from them, the studio that makes Fable would be cool. Yeah, probably them. Depends on what kind of game, though. If it's like I don't know. Well, no, there's really no shooter Marvel characters, you know what I mean? So I don't know why, like, 343 wouldn't be into it. I don't know. But yeah, I'd say Iron Man, and then maybe give them to the Fable developers. Gotham Knights isn't going to be shown until June. Well, we will see. I hope not, but it's possible. Like I said, I don't get too serious with it. If it's not shown till June, it's not shown till June. I'll still be here, hopefully. You know what I mean? It's fine. You gonna check out Shadow Warrior 3 since it's on PS Plus or PS Now? I may. My friend's really into it, so I may wait for him to talk about it. But yeah, maybe. Rockstar announced that GTA 5 expanded. Yes, I saw it. I'm a little worried we haven't seen like a deep dive. We've only seen pictures. I know they're in-game images, but after the trilogy definitive edition thing that they did, I don't think we should just trust them anymore. So I'm not probably gonna get it, but it's also because I'm not really interested in it all that much. But I just hope it's not for the consumers, for people to buy the game. I hope GTA 5, doesn't. I hope it does work. It doesn't, completely fall apart. Sifu is hard but fun. It is. Sifu is an amazing game. Amazing game. I hope it's a Marvel game. We need to see a game where you can fight Doomslayer with Halo. Everybody should have. Sony was ahead of its time. Everybody should have a fighting game. Okay? All right. Super Smash Bros. Is incredible. I loved to death PlayStation All-Stars. In fact, I think that's a phenomenal name. Make a second one, Sony. Okay, while you're at it, multiverses, they're already doing it for all the DC stuff, all the Warner Bros. Stuff. Now, Microsoft, you have everybody. You have Doom, you have Halo, you have just all of these characters. Make a fighting game. I'm telling you. I am very interested in that Disney racing game. Speed Race. I made a video on the second channel on it a few weeks ago. I forget its name. I'm interested. It's got Jack Sparrow. It's got pirates. I'm in. But it also looks fun. So I think and it's free to play as long as it's not predatory. I'll play it. Even if it is predatory, I'll still play it. But then if it's good, then I'll play it longer. If it's bad, I'll stop. Well, yeah, I'm a little worried about the summer for games just because I don't think it's going to be filled much at all. I'm not worried about the fall, though. I'm not worried about the fall because games don't get announced that early. Also, there is Midnight Suns, Marvel's Midnight Suns. That should come out in the fall, actually. Saints Row is August. I'm not really into that one, but, Anybody up for R-rated Disney movie? Yeah. Are you talking about Deadpool? Yeah, that's what I try to do for Sifu. Once I beat them, I try to just go back to the beginning and just get the youngest age for each stage. It sold 1 million units. I'm very happy for them. Awesome. Yeah, and adding skins. I saw one. There's a skin out there, a mod. Obviously it's not them, but it's a mod of Batman. As long as you call them out if it's predatory. When have I not? I'm pretty straightforward. The Gran Turismo thing, I'm not a fan of. I've called PlayStation out a ton. I've called Microsoft out a ton. Yeah, I'm not going to. If something's bad, I'm not going to hide my feelings of it. That's not me. What's your favorite Resident Evil game? 7 was really good. 4 is really good. 2 remake is really good. I really like 7. So maybe like a 2-3-way tie. Can I do that? I still think Disney should make a Smash clone game. They should. Disney should as well. I agree. I'm not excited, to be honest, for Midnight Suns. I am. It's a very different. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but I'm into it. Ragnarok is tough. Yeah. I honestly, so the pendulum for Ragnarok is so big because I truly believe they could show it in a week or 2 or 3 at this next PlayStation event, and the release date could be June. Like, I think that could happen. And I also think that they could show it and say fall. Or say 20, or like delay it. And I think any possibility is open where they could say, yeah, it actually comes out in 2.5 months. And we're like, oh my God. And it's possible. But I also think, yeah, it could be like they could push it. But I don't know. I kind of feel like it could be close. Where's the thing on playtesting Gotham Knights? I showed it. You got to go back. I'm not going to show it again. I showed it early on, maybe like 5-10 minutes into the live stream. We went through it. But there was a playtest, probably, and it was taken down. Because of the Netflix series of, yes. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. I should rewatch. I love the first season of Jessica Jones a ton. Loved it. And I love the first season of Daredevil. Loved it. And Punisher. I liked both of Punishers. Is it true that Slow Clap in this upcoming update are adding difficulties? Yes. They're adding a extra hard mode and a easy mode. Pretty sure. Yep. All right. Any last things you guys want to talk about? And then I'm gonna head off. Trying to think any updates or stuff. I mean, obviously we're a little dead in terms of gaming. So the next several weeks of live streams will probably just be like this. Maybe we'll talk about a topic or something. The 25th, maybe we'll do like Ghostwire Tokyo or something in a couple of weeks when games start to come out. What do you think about this being the final Norse game? I don't love them going through it too fast. Yeah, I agree with that. But they killed it with God of War 2018. So who am I to judge? You know what I mean? I want to make that known. But I'm not the biggest fan of them going fast. My DMs are always open. So go ahead. Lego Group is making a Smash clone game, and it's called Brawl. Oh, yes. Yeah. I want to see more Lego stuff. Get Lego Star Wars out and then give me some new properties with it, please. How can we convince them of a remake? If I ever talk to them in any capacity, I will ask about Origins and see if we can do it. I don't know about Turning Red. Maybe. I'll probably watch it. I mean, why not? Next time we see Deadpool, he'd be throwing Mickey Mouse off a cat. Oh, my God. I know. It can get rough with them, with those Disney characters now. All right, guys. Well, obviously videos every day. Got some fun ones over the weekend. And we'll just keep our eyes open. A PlayStation event, hopefully in the next couple weeks. I really want to co-stream that. So there should be some big live streams ahead. And then, we'll get back to some games soon. If there's ever a big thing like this, I can, of course, do live streams for Gotham Knights, Hogwarts, anything else that kind of comes up. And again, hopefully for Gotham Knights, we are close. I really want to get there. I really want Gotham Knights to come out. All right, so I want to thank you all for being here. Have an awesome first weekend in March. Enjoy the weather, if the weather's good or if it's bad, whatever. If you guys want to check out anything else, you want to follow me on Twitter or anything, everything's in the description. Just a plug. Patreon. We have a Patreon page, a YouTube membership page. You get exclusive stuff on those. People that are doing it really like it. So if you guys want to check any of that stuff out, it's in the description below. And I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all on the next video.